Thank you to everyone that's joining us today to talk a little bit about the Tour de Trees. Great to see everybody's faces on here. I'll share more as I'll share more as we get on here, so you'll see a bigger screen than just everybody's faces on here. But talking about the tour today, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Jonathan Kane. I am the a communication and engagement manager for Tree Fund. And then also joining us today, talking a little bit later, is Paul Wood, our famous or infamous, maybe depending on how you look at it, tour director for the last 20 plus years. So welcome everyone on behalf of everyone here at Tree Fund and of Paul. So just a couple of things that'll be happening. So we'll be going over a little bit of some details for the tour for this year, for those who have never been on this before. And then also we'll go over a little bit on the route. And then towards the end, we'll do a Q&A section. So what we'll do when we get to that is we'll just have you raise your hand on there, and we can do questions just kind of in order. And it'll be a nice kind of casual thing at the end, just to say hi to everybody and learn a little bit more. So a couple of things. So now I get to start my slideshow here. So bear with me while I share. There we go. Alrighty, so for those of you who don't know, RIDE is put on by Tree Fund. Tree Fund is the Tree Research and Education Endowment Fund, and our mission is to support the scientific discovery and dissemination of new knowledge in the fields of arboriculture and urban forestry. So hopefully you're all very familiar with that and what we do. And if you're not, as you're out on the tour, you will learn plenty more about it, through the days and through the entire week, learning about our different grants, our different programs, and what we do to help arborists out in the field, help with our urban forests. Tree Fund does have 7 different research grants that we offer, 2 education grants, and 6 different scholarships. And actually, our spring application just finished up a little bit ago, and that was all decided on. So look for some information on the announcements of those awardees from our last cycle coming up soon. In addition to the Tour de Trees that we'll be talking about today, we do also have a virtual Tour de Trees that we are doing, which allows some folks to participate in their own backyards. If they're not able to make it out to Michigan with us this year, they're able to join us virtually by doing some miles, either biking or running or walking or swimming from their home. So we very much appreciate all of those folks, and we appreciate anyone that's signed up to be a tour buddy to kind of be a person to encourage them along the way and show support and really make them feel like they're part of the group as we're going. So the purpose. There we go. The details for the Tour de Trees. So August 10th through 16th is when it takes place. There are 5 riding days. That'll be Monday through Friday. It'll be 420 plus miles as it is currently laid out. We're going to start in downtown Grand Rapids, and then for the first day, we'll make our way up to the city of Big Rapids, mostly on the White Pine Trail. And then after that, we'll head all the way up north, up into Traverse City. And then for the third day, we'll go from Traverse City through the Sleeping Bear Dunes area over to Manistee, which is when we'll start seeing a lot of parts of Lake Michigan and the lakefront. From there, we'll head down to Whitehall on day 4. And then on day 5, we'll head back to Grand Rapids, completing the loop. And in a little bit, Paul Wood will come on and he'll talk a little bit more about each different day and what we'll experience and what we'll see. So as soon as I get through a little bit more of this, we'll learn a little bit more about the route. Just a couple of things to remember as we're looking at this, as we're looking at the route. The tour is not a race. It is a go at your own pace event. We have riders that'll be up front. We'll have riders that'll be in the middle. We'll have riders that'll be at the back, and we will have support groups for everybody along the way, as well as different events for hopefully everyone to participate in. But we do try to spread the events out so that you're able to participate in at least a couple of them if you're looking to do so. So all of the itinerary information, all of the participant information can be found at the treefund.org website under the Tour de Trees section under the participant resources tab. So that is where you'll be able to find all of the updated itineraries, all of the updated travel information, and basically everything that we're talking about today. So it's a great place for you to see anything that you need for fundraising, for travel, for anything like that. A couple of things that we do want to stress during the tour is we do want to stress that it is a culture of safety as we're out there. It's something that we really take seriously, especially with everybody being so spread out. It is a rules of the road ride, and the goal is to make sure that we all arrive at our destination safely, and we all want to make sure that we take care of each other. What I'm going to do now is I am going to do another short little video that I made up just with some photos that Paul Wood and Tom Kroc took as they were out in Michigan the other week. So 1 second. Sorry, bear with me. I have a lot of tabs open to do for this. So here we go. All right, that's just a little bit of a preview of what we'll see on the route. Before I turn it over to Paul, just a couple of details. I'm sorry, I can't read any of that at the moment. Just a couple of details. Nope, no one saw the video. Oh, that's too bad. All right, I will. I'll just go ahead and skip that. It's not all that exciting anyway. I'll be honest. Just a couple of things that I wanted to go over. Must have been snow. Yeah, it must have been. There we go. All right. Just a couple of things on how we will be checking in on everything. So check in on that first day will be at the Amway Grand in Grand Rapids. So that'll be from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that's when you'll receive all your jerseys and your t-shirts and your helmets and any other kind of goodie bag items that we will have available there. And then if you're packing up your bike and you need our mechanics to help you out with reassembling it, that is where you'll be able to do that. And then we'll be all ready for the next day's ride. For that evening on that Sunday, orientation, we'll have a meeting at 5 o'clock. Where we'll go over the week. We'll do a lot of the stuff that we're talking about here, just kind of going over the route and talking about the safety aspects and what we expect to see every day. And then after that, usually about 6 o'clock, 6:30 is when we will have dinner, which will be at the hotel this evening. So that's a preview of what you'll see on that first day when you check in. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it over to our tour director, Paul Wood, so that he can talk a little bit more about each route day. So, Paul, I will turn it over to you, and I'm going to start sharing those slides that we were talking about. And you are muted, so we'll have to unmute you.
Gotcha.
There you go.
All right, thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate that very much. Nice, concise. I appreciate you putting together these slides so promptly. That's a good job there, young man. As Jonathan has already presented this slide, but again, we can't overemphasize the importance of safety on the ride. It is a rules of the road, rules of the trail ride. And as he said, the goal is for everyone, all participants, all support staff, everyone involved to arrive safely back in Grand Rapids. And of course, we all can use a helping hand at times. So take care of each other while you're out there on the road. And me and my team will certainly do our best to do the same. Yeah, so as Jonathan mentioned, a lot of this stuff that we're going to cover is going to be on the participant resource page. So it's there. Again, we understand it's not the easiest website to navigate, but all that stuff there. So if you just kind of drill down in there, or reach out, if you can't easily find the information to kind of back up what we're saying today, you feel free to reach out to Jonathan or I, and we can certainly address any questions that you have. But on that page, we have the travel logistics link, and in that we give you information regarding pre and post tour lodging, travel recommendations, parking recommendations provided by the hotel. They do have parking at the hotel. It's rather pricey, but they gave us a number of lots, and Tom and I took the time to walk around to each of those lots. They're really conveniently located to the hotel. So, and while they're not necessarily secured under lock behind gates, it is a safe area. It's right downtown, right on the river, so it's a beautiful area. So, also included in that page is bike shipping information. And once again, we promote the use of we you can either ship your bike or fly with your bike. I'm a big fan anymore of flying with my bike, because it is less expensive than it was when I first started managing this event. Now generally you can get by with just the cost of an extra piece of luggage, as long as it doesn't exceed the 50-pound limit. So yeah, I mean that's usually the cheaper way, and you don't have to be without your bike for 3 or 4 or 5+ days on the front end and the back end to receive it. So a lot of other information in that link also. Yeah, the support team, the all important support team. A lot of you have heard me say this, but again, I just can't overemphasize the importance of and the value that the support team has served to me and to all the riders. Most of the team has been with me for 10 plus years. Tom actually predates me, so he's 20 plus more, a few more than I am. I'm 21 this year. Not 21 years old, of course. I wish I was, but those days are gone. But included in that support team caravan is at least one mechanic. We typically have two. We hope to have two again this year. But if we don't, we're going to try to incorporate support from local bike shops on the front end so that they can assist us with assembling your bike, and in the back end with boxing your bike up at the end of the ride. We've been lucky enough to have two masseuses accompany us. They're sponsored by the West Coast Arborist. They have been with us for I think since 2005. Katie, who is she on this call? I didn't recognize. She probably is not.
I think so. Yeah.
But as many of you know, she recently lost her husband, and he was a masseuse and a rider for a number of years with us. Really wonderful man. But she always enlists a friend of hers to come and massage, and has done so again this year. So I'm not sure we've had the young lady she has enlisted this year before, but I'm sure she'll fall right in line and do an excellent job. Luggage team, again, boy, what an important component that is. Moving bags from hotel to hotel. It's quite a task. It's a physical task, timely task. And we got a gentleman coming back this year that most of you know, or some of you know, Maynard, and one of the best guys we've ever had in that position. So we're super lucky to have him back. And then, believe it or not, uh, people usually they come in and out of this task because it is a challenging task, and you don't really get to feel the energy of the group as much as you do us vans being with the rider. So it's kind of a thankless job. So thank them if you would. But we've got a gentleman coming back from Davie who so this will be his second year, and we're super happy to have him come back again this year. So on the road there'll be 3 vans that'll kind of be roving through the groups. Typically, I'm on the front end of that group. We'll have a vehicle in the middle. This year, again, we're lucky enough to have Tom Armstrong come back. And then Tom is typically in the back of that group, um, making sure that he keeps an eye on all those that are taking a little more leisurely approach to the ride or may need a little more assistance along the way. So typical day. Breakfast, we typically open it at 6, or as this says, 6:15, somewhere in that range. We'll cut it off 7:15. Uh, I think every day it's going to be at the hotel, except for one day this year. Generally, it is at the hotel each day. We actually do have a hotel, which doesn't have the capacity to feed all of us in the timely manner. So we're going to go off site that one day, but typically you just kind of lumber down from your room, grab back your breakfast at your timeline in that window. So you don't have to dine as a group. You kind of dine at your personal schedule. And bags down. They'll be ready. The luggage truck will be we'll try to identify and specify each evening where that truck's going to be and let you know. But they typically are able to receive bags no later than 7 o'clock. So bring them back and bring them down as early as as promptly as you can, so we can get them all loaded. We'll line up. And we understand it's always a tough, it's a very busy morning to get breakfast, get dressed, do all the stuff you got to do to get your bags together, get downstairs, get your bike, your tires pumped up, make sure you got your route loaded on your bike computer, all of that stuff. But we asked you to line up 10 to 15 minutes ahead of time. We'll make a couple quick announcements about what to look for on that day's ride. Jonathan will make announcements regarding what opportunities there are for outreach that day and educational events, and then we'll quickly be off. Um, we try to we get on the road by 8 o'clock is our certainly our recommended time to depart. Kind of depends on the length of the day. All the days this year, that's going to be our goal, is to roll out at 8 o'clock. So we do that as a group. It helps us kind of navigate those first few miles as we're leaving the urban centers together in a tight group. It's safer for all of us, and the support teams can get on the road at the same time and be assured that everybody in our group is on the road at the same time. Aid stations are typically laid out every hour to 2 hours, or hour to hour and a half typically. So in that 15 to 30 or 25-mile range is kind of where that's going to be. It varies every day depending on what Jonathan has for outreach and education for us that morning. What points of interest that may be along the way early in the ride or late in the ride. So it'll vary a bit. But that's kind of the range it will have, and we'll specify every evening what the next day is going to look like, and every morning we'll try to remind everybody what that day is going to look like. We'll eat dinner typically at hotels, but not always the case. In particular, there is we're going to be off site probably a little more than typical this
Yeah, three
year.
times.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, 3 times this year.
Oh, three times off, and then of course we have the traditional night on your own in Traverse City, and all the places that are available to us in downtown are walkable from the hotel. So it's a lovely location to have that evening.
All righty, thank you, Paul. What we're
Yo,
going to
man.
do now is I'm going to jump and show some of our maps, and Paul's going to go over a little bit of the day-to-day of each route and what we'll see and where we'll be going, and then I'll jump in with some of the events that we already have planned for each day, and we'll just go back and forth, kind of describing each map. So if you allow me 1 second while I pull that map up. 1 second. Make sure I get the right one here. I have 6 tabs pulled up for each day, so I got to make sure I'm on the right
Yeah.
one. Here we go. Now we got it. All righty, here we go. Day one. And Paul, if you ever want me to zoom in on anything, you just let me know.
I will. Thank you very much. So a couple of things here. Day one is maybe the trickiest day we have because we actually have three options that day. So we've got this option that's identified here, which is a direct option, and this will be not exclusively, but almost exclusively on the Frederick Meyer White Pine State Park Trail. It is a lovely trail. And as you see here, it's actually identifying that quite a bit of this is unpaved by those little lines, those broken lines in there. But that isn't the case. We are super lucky that it just, that it fell, that they got the budget, got the time, got it done. They're paving this as we're meeting now. Tom and I were there a couple weeks ago, and we saw that they had made incredible progress. And I didn't see any reason why the date that they had identified, which was going to be prior to us arriving, that they couldn't adhere to that. I think all that's going to be paved. So, about half the trail is going to be new pavement. And from what we saw, I didn't get a chance to ride any of it, but we were paralleling the road, and we drove over towards it and got out and looked at it a number of times. It's in good shape, really good shape. So once we navigate our way out of town, it's going to be a trail ride, and in through very rural areas. So it won't be anything like, for those of you that rode in the DC ride. We incorporated a lot of trail on that ride also, but that trail was it's so urban, so heavily used by commuters that it really wasn't that pleasant experience. This is going to be a pleasant experience. It's wooded, it's forested through there, so we'll have shade. It's in really good shape. Most of the places will be very little traffic, but it still is incumbent upon us to be good citizens out there. They probably in a lot of places will have speed limits posted that are maybe a little less than we'll be going. But again, just be mindful. It is a multi-use trail. Be respectful of all other users. You may, again, since we're going to be incorporating a fair amount of trail on this tour, it'd be a good idea to have a bell on your bike. It's not mandatory, but it certainly does help you pass safely out there. And we all understand the frustrations of trails. Even if you have a bell, half the people have earbuds in, like I do right now, listening to their favorite podcast or music or whatever. But again, it's going to be a really lovely, lovely day. So. What you won't see is the option two is going to add a few more miles, another 15 miles. This is a 60-mile day. We're going to have a 60, a 74, and then a 200K ride that is going to be quite a challenge that I hope some of you will take. But it's actually to a lovely destination, a sponsor, a really good. There you go. Actually, there's another one too inside, but don't worry about it. That is just that kind of because I put the whole thing together. but you'll see that, and you can't see the whole 200K here, but it is a 200K ride now if you take that Moorbark challenge. So it should be. I'm anxious seeing people do it, and we'll have support for that ride. And we'll probably play it by ear how much additional support we'll need. We know we'll have, the AM, the morning support, rest stop. We'll have lunch all together, and then we'll break off after lunch. And the other two groups, so the first group you can't really see, but that where it heads north, that's kind of the break of the 74-mile option also. So, but again, lovely day, really good day. And Jonathan has a lot of things happening on that first day. So I'm going to turn it over to him. It's going to be
Yeah,
a good
there are.
introduction to
It's
the tour.
Thank you, Paul. Yes. So we will depart Grand Rapids, and about 3 miles away from the hotel, we'll have our traditional kickoff event, which we'll have with some of the local representatives, and we will be doing a tree planting there as well before we take our traditional group picture. It's going to be in Riverview Park, which is a wonderful park, as the name dictates. It is on the river. If you've never been to Grand Rapids, there's a big river that runs right through the middle of town, and we'll have a lovely opportunity to take a group photo there and meet with some of the local representatives as well. Our first rest stop in the morning will actually be doing a educational event for all the riders that would like to hear more about the White Pine Trail and some of the other trails that are in Michigan. And Paul will kind of attest to it, just kind of how many trails and how well maintained a lot of the bike trails in Michigan are. So the West Michigan Trails group will be out there kind of talking about the different kinds of way that they maintain the trails, how they choose which things to do projects on, and he'll actually be in Grand Rapids as well, joining us. So, at our lunch stop in Morley, it'll actually just as of yesterday will be our first Professor Pricklethorn presentation of the week. So we'll have the professor out there talking to the area kids who will be there for lunch as well while we are there, which will be a great opportunity. And then we'll also have a couple of other presentations more for the adults afterwards, and their garden club and some other groups will be out there joining us, just kind of learning about how to properly maintain their trees in their gardens. And then finally, at the end of the day in Big Rapids, right before we get back to the hotel, the Mecosta Conservation District is putting together a community expo all about conservation and all about green spaces. So we'll be able to stop there. For those of you that are doing the shorter rides for the day, you'll be able to hang out a little bit longer and talk to the folks that are there and learn about what they're doing in the area as far as conservation. And then if you're speedy and doing the longer route, you'll be able to do that as well. But they'll be there until 6 o'clock. And then for the folks that are partaking in the Moorbark Challenge and doing this extra little bit over at the Moorbark facility, which is that easternmost plot on that map there. You'll be able to meet with some of them and get a tour of their facility if you're interested in it. And they will have different kind of snacks out there for you as well. So we're very happy that they're interested in hosting everyone. They'll be there at lunch with us as well, just to meet everybody. But it's great that they wanted to sponsor this challenge, and they'll have some kind of special prize for anyone that completes the 200K for that day. So moving on to day two.
Day two. Again, this is going to be punctuated, or we're gonna tie a couple trail systems together. We're going to be on the White Pine Trail again as we exit Big Rapids to Cadillac, to where we're having lunch. So that's another 45 miles on the trail, and then we're going to finish the day on the Tart Trail, the Traverse Area Recreational Trail. And in between, we'll get off the trail and get a feel for real Michigan, and it's a lovely ride. Um, Tom and I worked hard to put this ride together. It's one thing to map something, regardless of what resources you have, and there are a lot of resources now, but regardless of what you have, there's nothing like seeing the route. So we got a chance to see it and see the traffic volume on roads. So we got to make edits based on that experience. And then, of course, the final fine tuning is we'll go back out again and physically ride the route. And then you don't have that. Sometimes you can get in some of these less populated areas, and because you're doing 35 or 45 miles an hour as you're observing everything, and you can see what you think might be a hazard to a cyclist when you're driving. If an intersection doesn't feel right, or if there is commercial, a burden of commercial traffic, then you can make those edits. But you really can't, if you're in rural areas, you can't really have a feel for what kind of commercial traffic's on that road until you ride it. So that's our next step to making sure that we get the safest route possible for this event, which is always our primary criteria. So again, great ride. We're going to end up in a great city. This is Traverse City on the Bay is a lovely destination for us. Our hotel is on the bay, on the beach. I'm sure we'll have a lovely evening there. Night on your own, go into town. Should be one of our best rides. And one of the things that you'll see, Jonathan and I were talking about this a couple days ago, is that we thought we first put this together, and before we start editing all the routes, it looks like, well, this is not going to be that long a ride. We're gonna actually have more time in the evenings. We're gonna have more fellowship opportunities. But as you start really refining the ride and making it, again, as pleasant and safe as possible, then the days kept. So this is going to be the first of our series of 3 90-mile days, which we have to make sure everybody's prepared for, aware of, and prepared for. But this is a good day, and as you see, at 96.5 miles, with a couple of on and offs to rest stops and lunches and maybe a missed turn or two. I'm sure this will be our first century, but it's not an official century because it's not mapped as so should be a good day. Mr. Jonathan.
Yeah, and I'll get to it, but we do have three 90 plus mile days in a row. But in a lot of these cases, we do actually have options for either turnoffs or pickups to take to the end because we have other activities. And this is one of those days where we have that. So for events for that day, we do have a tree planting as we depart Big Rapids. We'll be putting something in just a couple blocks away from the hotel, working with the city of Big Rapids on that. So they're very excited to have us there. We do have a presentation in the afternoon from Professor Pricklethorne, although our writers probably won't be able to see that one. But if anyone is interested in helping out with that and would like to jump in the car, it's just a little bit too far off of our route. And not with safe crossings that we're able to do that, but we'll be doing that with the Human Nature School up near Traverse City, and then anyone that does that and anyone else that's interested in the Seeds Ecology and Education Center at the historic barn in Traverse City has opened up to us for tours. So that's also something, if you are interested in taking a tour of their facility, you can do that. We can take you from lunch over to there and then drive you back over to Traverse City for on your own night for dinner, which if you don't know what on your own night is, that's the night that we're able to go out and explore the city and have dinner. On our own, as the name says. It's not typically on the second night, but Traverse City is such just kind of a happening town and such a spot there. They have so many different places to eat that we didn't want to pass up the opportunity to have you explore the town that evening. And what we will do is we'll prepare a list with different recommendations on where to go, whether or not you think we need a reservation, different things like that for that evening. So we'll allow you to explore and see what great things that town has to offer. Moving on to day 3. There we go.
As Jonathan mentioned, we always, the sport team's always willing to lend a hand if a day is too long, too arduous for our riders. But I will caution you to not get too overwhelmed about these miles. They are long days in the saddle, and there's no denying that 90 miles is a long time to be on a bike. But these are for those in other parts of the country. These are going to be 25 foot per per mile up to 40 foot per mile day. So pretty, you know, pretty rolling at best. So flat to rolling is going to kind of be the theme here. So after day 1 and 2, as we're making our way north to the bay and over to the lake, the theme's going to change from that forested trail network that we utilized most of the way to get up Traverse City. And as we make our way from Traverse, this is kind of the signature day of the tour. There's always one, and this is the day of this tour. We're going to leave Traverse City and navigate over to Sleepy Bear Dunes National Lakeshore. Really lovely ride, and a little more hilly than what we will have the rest of the week. So it's a really interesting riding as you leave Traverse City, getting up to the northernmost points of our ride, and then begin to come down. So we're still working on the details of our visit there, but it really is spectacular. The riding's going to be great. We're going to be, riding the shoreline of Lake Michigan almost all day. So it's going to be a spectacular ride. I'm looking forward to this day a lot. It has a lot in store for us, and this is our one and only official century. So this one's mapped at over 100 miles, which again, all these little ons and offs and minor miscues along the way. We'll probably end up in the 103, maybe 105 range, or I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But it really is going to be a spectacular ride. It was a lovely drive, and I can't wait to get up and ride it myself. Mr. Jonathan.
Yeah, and we're definitely looking forward to being on the Sleeping Bear Dunes area. We knew this was going to be a highlight of the trip, and some of those pictures that did not show up in the video that I tried to do definitely showed off just some of the scope of just the area, and Paul and Tom both had reported back just how almost overwhelmed they were by just the size of these sand dunes along the lakeshore. So, for those of you who again are looking to possibly not do a century ride day, this is another opportunity where you have a shorter day available. We do have a prickle-thorn presentation in the morning. It's not until about 10 o'clock in the morning is when we're doing that. We're actually going to be doing that at the local library in Traverse City, and the youth cycling club is going to be biking over from their park over to the library to take in the presentation as well as anybody else from the library that is interested in coming. So it's going to be a really cool experience having the kids bike over and see some of our cyclists over there, and then learn about trees from Professor Pricklethorne. So it should be an excellent day, and we'll plant a tree on the library property right before we leave with the kids there. So other things that we'll be doing that day, and we get to Frankfurt, which is our lunch stop over on the lake there. We'll actually have another chance at an educational opportunity. We'll be meeting with the Frankfurt Tree Board and some of the other local tree boards and park departments over there. We're putting together some educational events for them. They're trying to learn a little bit more about how to properly plant and properly care for their trees in their communities because they're trying to grow the number of trees that they have in their urban forest areas. So it should be a great opportunity for some higher level than 101 type education that day. So working on a wonderful event with them. They're very excited about having us come. And then as we go down the lakefront here, have a great opportunity for those of you who have an interest in state champion trees. We'll be able to stop and see the giant sequoia that is at Lake Bluff Farms just on the lakefront there. They are very proud of the several state champion trees that they have there, but especially the giant sequoia that they have, which is not something you typically see in Michigan. So very excited about being able to see that at the end of the ride that day. Day 4, Paul.
Yes, sir. This is a day almost exclusively riding down the shores of the shoreline of Lake Michigan. So again, really a scenic, very scenic ride. Our final in a series of 390+ mile days. Again, as you see, we're in that less than 30 foot a mile. So and should be a lovely and very achievable ride for all of us, all of you guys and gals out there. Really, it's just the whole loop is really spectacular. But this day is going to be a lot of fun. One of the things that I mentioned to our planning committee is that this theme of the lake is just so prominent, so dominant in the state of Michigan, and in this tour. The other thing that we saw on day 3 and we'll see again today is the massive dunes that really just caught me off guard. I mean, the pictures that Tom and I took and that we tried to show really don't do it justice. I mean, the Sleeping Bear Dune is just incredible. And then we get down to Silver Lake, and that little point of, or that photo op that you see there is another series of dunes that are used for RV, or not RV, but off-road vehicles exclusively. And I mean, it's a playground for kids on giant toys, but those dunes are just, they're crazy, massive. I mean, it's incredible. It's going to be mind blowing when when you turn a corner and you see a dune that's 400 foot high or something. I mean, it's otherworldly almost. And that'll be one of the things that we'll cover on our safety briefings before the rides, is that do be aware that there's a lot of sand, wind-blown sand on the roads here that you'll have to be mindful of. And when you see large deposits of that, then if it is safe to do so, avoid that by swerving around it. But anyway, you'll see a fair amount of that along the way. But again, lovely day, lake shoreline, exclusive day. And yeah, should be a fun time out there. Mr. Jonathan.
Yeah, and as far as events go for this day, we don't have too many things planned at the moment. We do have some stuff in the works, but this is definitely going to be a day to really just enjoy the lakefront before we start heading back to Grand Rapids on day 5. So we'll have a few things to add in, but it's going to be at this point a pretty casual day. Get to get some nice pictures, meet some nice folks, and get ready for day 5. It's the third 90+ mile day of the tour. So we want to make sure we get everybody through it that wants to complete all those long miles in all days. All right, and finally day 5.
Closing the circle, or the loop, not circle so much, but closing the loop. So as you see, we've got our last final miles along the shoreline of Lake Michigan. And then we pretty much head due east from there out of Muskegon. And we got a really special day in Muskegon. So I'll let Jonathan talk to you about that. But and we're going to be utilizing again one of the major networks of trail systems to get to work our way back east towards Sparta. Another lovely trail system, so that'll be exciting. Probably have a little more traffic on it because there is, Muskegon's a pretty good sized community. And of course, we're approaching Grand Rapids. So, but again, I don't anticipate a lot of traffic, but have to be mindful of that. And then as you see that turn south, there will be on some of the most scenic roads and orchards. I mean, there's just orchards everywhere, giant apple orchards and peach orchards, and it's really a really exciting way. And as most of you know, cities of size typically have more cycling, pedestrian, and cycling infrastructure. So I typically worry less about us riding in a city of size than I do kind of a mid-sized city that maybe has more traffic than we would like, but less infrastructure. So, we have to be really, cautious about that. But as we approach, the way into Grand Rapids is lovely, with bike lanes or paths all the way in. So it's going to be a really nice day. Again, although it may look like it because the scale is compressed, we are climbing less than 2,000 feet that day. So it's not a lot of climbing. So don't let the graphical representation freak you out or anything. And we've been talking for years about how we want to do this, what do we want to do with the last day? Last year, just the way it worked out, we had to ride our only century of the tour on the final day. And we didn't want to replicate that experience and everybody get into the hotel really late and have to rush to to take a shower, get to dinner. So there was a lot, and then we had an event. So there was a lot going on at the finish. We tried to knock that down. This is still a relatively long day. It's 73 miles, but it's really a lovely ride, and we'll ride right into the hotel. Beautiful place, right on the river. It's a fabulous hotel, and begin the celebration and breaking down of bikes. Mr. Jonathan.
Yes, it's going to be a great day to end the note on, especially with the couple fewer miles that we'll be experiencing that day. A little bit of a shorter route. When we get to Muskegon, where we have our first aid stations, we actually have a lot of things going on that day, which is great for us. We're really going to be able to do a lot of different kind of community engagements while we're there. One of the first things that we'll be doing is we will be working with the Muskegon Community College. They are setting up they're calling it an industry week, and on that Friday they're focusing on the arboriculture and forestry industry. So this is being put together by their forestry department, specifically because we're
Uh,
coming in. So we will have some presenters there. Anyone that would like to be a part of that, you can reach out to me. We'll talk about that as we get a little bit closer as far as what that will entail. But if anyone would like to meet with those students, they're bringing in students not only from their college, but they're inviting from other colleges in the area as well that might be interested in learning a little bit more about the industry there. And then we do also have another Prickle-Thorn presentation with the Muskegon YMCA that'll be going on that morning with their day camp. And then finally, a very important thing that we hope everyone will be able to attend is in Hackley Park in downtown Muskegon, which already has a number of historic trees in there that their city arborist will tell everyone all about. We are going to be doing a memorial tree planting for Gwyngians that day, and Al will be coming in for that for a couple of days, and he'll be joining us there to be there for the memorial planting for Gwen, and that's going to be a really special place. It's a beautiful park, and we're very thankful to the city of Muskegon that they're allowing us to do that and are helping us out with that. So that'll be a very special morning. After we depart from there, we'll have lunch in Ravinia before ending back in Grand Rapids at the hotel there, where we'll have our traditional final dinner and closing ceremonies for everything. On top of that, if anyone is interested, and I'm working out the final details on that, if you'd like, that Saturday on our departure day, We will have one more Professional Pricklethorn presentation at the Meyer Gardens, which is about 5 miles or so away from our hotel. If you're able to get over there, I know many of you will have your cars at that point, or if you'd like to bike over for a final little thing, we'll be doing that at 10:30 in the morning, and I'll have details for that as well if anyone's interested in one more thing on that Saturday before they depart. So. That goes over our maps. I'll go ahead and get rid of this and go to our last slide that we have, and then after that we'll go to Q&A. So 1 second, please, while I bring this up. All right, and Paul, I'll toss it over to you for our last slide.
Okay, so those who have ridden with us in the last 10 years, maybe not 10 years, but anyway, recently, know that we transitioned from marking roads to riders being responsible for navigating. What I'll do is I'll create all these maps in Ride with GPS. I'll send you a link. I'll create an event, send you a link. Then you can take that link and have full access to Ride with GPS for that period of the tour. You can upload that ride file to your head unit and navigate. Again, that every year we get better and better at this. We get better at communicating how to do that. We're going to continue to strive to make sure that because there's still a number of people that aren't that comfortable making that transition from here's the routes to putting it on your head unit, following what it's telling you on the head unit. But we are getting better, and again we'll keep to refining that. But anyway, find your group. Make sure you've got a group and you've got somebody in that group that's good at navigation or is capable of navigating the route. It's not flawless. Navigating with your head unit certainly not is not a flawless affair, and especially when you start incorporating trails and all of that kind of stuff. I'll be able to refine it after I get a chance to ride it, but be patient and you'll get through. Again, we've been doing this since Colorado, and everybody seems to do fairly well. We'll have pretty good cell coverage on this trip in most places. So if you find yourself off course, you know that you're off course, and you would like assistance in either shuttling to a point or just getting back on course, then feel free to call Tom or I or Jonathan, and we'll do our best to get you taken care of. And that goes as the next line there, the next bullet point, stay in groups. It's always safer, of course, to ride. We understand sometimes you do want some space. We all understand that, but it's really it's safer for us. It's easier for us to keep. So for us to make sure that we have accountability, we're accounting for all the riders out there. If we know that you're with, that okay, Ben's with Nebo, he's with, whatever. We know who his pack is. We're looking for that pack. Where is that pack? We haven't seen that pack. Tom, have you seen, anyway, that's how we communicate is where are riders XYZ, and when's the last time you saw them? What was the mile marker? All that kind of stuff. So it makes it safer for you and easier for us to keep you guys accounted for. Training, we publish, we that keeps evolving too every year, and I'm happy if anybody wants to reach out and get something more specific, I'm happy to give you that, although I'll probably give you more information than you even really want anyway. But we have a base training program that we have online now, and just last month we put up the kind of the evolution of that into peak, and so we have 16 weeks or 18 weeks of training up there that'll lead you, and if anybody ever really followed all of that, then you'd be more than prepared for the tour. But really the most important elements of training are to have fun and to get on your bike frequently. Get out there. Consistency is the primary element of success. For you as a cyclist, just ride as often as you can, as long as you can, when you have the time on the weekends, and join a spirited group ride to push yourself. That's kind of how I do it. I do follow plans occasionally, but most of the time, I find a group of people to share the load with, the pain with, the joy with, all that stuff. And again, feel free to reach out. Happy to help you. I've been around a long time in this sport and um, know more than I actually utilize. So, but thanks for your time this evening. We've got. I guess we're going to just open it up now, Jonathan. Or do you have something else?
Yeah, actually, I did have one more thing. I wanted to mention it before I took the maps down, but I did just want to do a quick thank you to our local Michigan crew that helped us put together a lot of this route. They had a lot of great input far as what cities we can hit, what different points of interest we can go, different things like that. So just wanted to do a quick thank you to Julie, Kathy, Annie, Alex, Jeff and Bob for all their help with that. So it's going to be a beautiful route as Paul and Tom have already seen driving through it, and we hope you all enjoy it. So we are going to open this up for Q&A right now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. If you have a question and would like to ask, there is a raise hand button, and I can just go through one by one as you ask those. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to raise your hand, and we'll go from there. Or if anyone would just like to say hi to everybody, we can do that too.
Mike Connick, what time is it?
It's evening. All right. Well, if nobody has any questions to ask here, if you ever have any questions or anything, Remy, Remy has a question. We'll go ahead and make sure we get him unmuted here. All right. There we go. Wait, unmute, unmute.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep, there we go.
Okay, awesome. It was just a quick question about meals and food allergies. So in terms of hotel meals, I have a bunch of food allergies, none by choice, and it's always a fun workaround whenever traveling anywhere. And I've never had great success with the typical meals that hotels serve. And I know you mentioned that's typically where we're getting our meals. Can you give us an idea of what types of meals we'd be looking at? Is that like additional catering, or is it typical like breakfast, like continental breakfasts that hotels typically offer that's like some muffins and bagels or something like that?
Yeah, sure. It's a great question and one that we get very often too. So we do work with all the different hotels, all the different catering groups that we encounter along the way. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of folks that have different needs as far as dietary restrictions. So we have that list, and if you ever need to double check that you entered in everything when you registered, we do have the lists from when everyone registered, and we work with those different caterers to say, okay, we need to make sure that if the actual meals that we order contain these items, what can we do to also replace that for one individual, or if we can do that for the whole group. So we work very carefully with all the different catering groups to make sure that everyone's covered at least the best we can. There are some, sometimes where, especially if we're in a very small town, they may not necessarily understand what the word, no protein means or something like that. But we try to make sure beforehand that we have everyone covered in one shape or form. So
Okay, super. Thank you.
Yeah, Remy. So we take food allergies seriously, of course, and communicate that to all the caterers that we utilize. And as Jonathan said, we will be in some areas that aren't as equipped to manage those, and we'll certainly let everybody that identifies themselves as having constraints that that are notable. We'll let them know where we may have some challenges, but in most of the time, if they don't have the skills, the chef knowledge to, as Jonathan said, to maybe manage ingredients so everybody's diet's taken care of, then they'll plate those individuals separately, and they'll have a meal. They'll be able to order from, and we'll send those out to persons such as yourself. Say, these are going to be the options at when we're in Whitehall. This is what it's going to be available to you, so that you can be aware of that. And certainly, if we can't accommodate, in some areas, if we can't accommodate everyone's needs, then we'll do our best to look in that area for restaurants that can accommodate, any special dietary needs that we have.
Super. Awesome. Really appreciate it. Thank you. And for the presentation.
Thanks for joining.
Joe.
Hi, guys. Sorry, I was on and off the call, so forgive me, but did you by any chance explain to the new people who Professor Bricklethorne is? Maybe they don't know.
That's a very good question. Professor Bricklethorne is one of our Canadian writers. It's a good way to describe him. So he has done presentations for children's groups all over the world. He's a wonderful guy. He has a great amount of information, and he presents to mostly elementary school age children, talking all about why trees are important, the best way to take care of them, how they work, how they grow, and it's a fantastic presentation. We always recommend everyone see it at least once if they're able to, and we try to make sure that we schedule them in ways that people are able to go over there and see those if they want to. But it's a wonderful thing, and he's actually gone out to different schools that some of our writers have connections with at different times of year. I think he actually just got back from New England just the other week, where he was out seeing Paul Sellers and those guys in a bunch of schools out by him. So it's very entertaining, and it's not just for kids. It's got some great info for adults as well. Any other questions? All righty.
Jonathan,
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Do
we have any additional riders that have joined? I know you said we were getting close to the 50 mark. I don't know if that changed in the last time.
Yeah. It's not much. We're up to 49 currently. Our registration deadline is coming up on June 10th. So that is about 3 weeks or so from now. So we still have time if anyone has people that are on the fence that you're knowing are trying to sign up or are thinking about it. We're always happy to provide additional information if they have any questions or anything like that. But still pushing for a few of those folks that always wait until the last minute as well. So. Anything else? All right. Thank you all. It was great seeing all of you. Looking forward to seeing you again in August. As always, if you have any questions, be sure to reach out at any time. But have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy some time on your bikes this summer, and we'll talk to you soon enough.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.